At my sister's engagement dinner, she placed her phone in the center of the table and said, "Tell everyone why you've been sleeping with my fiancé." 42 relatives went silent. On the screen were screenshots of messages saved under my name, late-night compliments, hotel suggestions, and one line that read, "She never deserved you." My mother asked me to return our grandmother's ring before I left. My father opened the dining room door. My sister stood beside him crying as if I had already confessed. Only Evan, her fiancé, looked confused. He stared at the screenshots and said quietly, "Those are not the messages I deleted." 36 hours later, a voice memo he thought was gone appeared on his laptop. In it, my sister said, "Once they believe Lee wants you, no one will ask why your signature is on the $28,000 loan." My name is Lee Morgan. I was 37 and worked as a compliance analyst for a regional insurance company outside Richmond, Virginia. My younger sister, Marissa, was 33, charming, impulsive, and protected by our parents long after the rest of us were expected to behave like adults. When Marissa got engaged to Evan, everyone was relieved. He was patient, practical, and careful with money. Marissa loved beautiful things and believed budgets were problems for later. 3 months before the engagement dinner, she asked me to review the wedding expenses because vendors kept requesting payments she could not track. I agreed on one condition. I would organize the numbers, but I would not become responsible for them. The budget showed deposits for a ballroom, photographer, florist, and honeymoon package. It also showed a personal loan for $28,000 under Evan's name. I assumed he knew about it. He did not. Evan called me the next morning and asked whether a lender could approve a loan with an electronic signature he did not remember providing. I told him not to accuse anyone yet. He should freeze new credit, request the original application, and speak to the lender directly. We met once at a coffee shop near my office because he wanted me to explain the application fields. The signature was typed. The contact email belonged to Marissa. Most of the money had gone toward wedding deposits and a luxury travel account. I told Evan, "Do not confront her until you have the lender's records." Someone photographed us through the café window. I did not know that picture existed until Marissa displayed it at the engagement dinner. She had invited both families, cousins, friends, and several members of Evan's church. After dessert, she stood and announced that she had learned something disgusting about the two people she trusted most. First came the café photograph. Then came the screenshots. The sender was saved as Lee. The messages described secret meetings and criticized Marissa. One suggested a hotel near the airport. I knew immediately that I had not written them, but the room had already chosen its version of the truth. Marissa looked at Evan. "Tell them you deleted the rest because you were ashamed." Evan said, "I deleted messages from an unknown number. I never said they came from Lee." She began crying harder. My mother turned toward me. "How could you do this to your own sister?" "I did not." "Then why were you meeting him secretly?" "Because there is a loan in his name that he did not authorize." Marissa's expression changed for less than a second. It was enough for me to see that the accusation had never been about jealousy. It was about timing. My father told me not to turn the evening into a financial argument. My mother asked for grandmother's ring, which she had given me on my 30th birthday, because she did not want something representing family loyalty in my possession. I removed it, placed it beside Marissa's phone, and walked out. Evan followed me into the driveway. "I do not believe you sent those messages," he said. "Then say that inside. I need to understand what she did first." That hesitation just cost me my family. He looked ashamed, but I left before he could answer. The next morning, Marissa posted a carefully worded message online about being betrayed by two people closest to her. She did not use my name, but relatives did. By noon, one cousin had called me a homewrecker, and another had sent the post to my employer. My manager asked me into a conference room, and explained that someone had alleged I used confidential financial knowledge to interfere in a family member's relationship. I showed her the loan application, my email advising Evan to contact the lender, and the time-stamped calendar invitation from our coffee meeting. She said the company would review it, but I could tell how quickly a lie had entered parts of my life Marissa had never earned access to. That evening, Evan called from his attorney's office. During his argument with Marissa 2 weeks earlier, he had recorded a voice memo because she kept denying statements she had made minutes before. She saw him recording and forced him to delete it. But his phone had synchronized before deletion. When he opened the voice memo folder on his laptop, the file was waiting in recently deleted. I met Evan and his attorney the next morning. The recording began with Marissa shouting that the loan was for both of them and that wedding gifts would cover it. Evan told her signing his name was fraud. Then her voice became calm. "If you tell anyone, I will show them the messages from Lee." "What messages?" "The ones you already deleted." "You sent those." "I bought the number months ago. Once they believe Lee wants you, no one will ask why your signature is on the loan." The room went quiet. There was more. Marissa explained that she had chosen me because our mother already believed I competed with her. She had photographed the café meeting herself after following Evan. She planned to say the financial questions were excuses for an affair. Evan's attorney also had a store receipt for the prepaid phone. Marissa had used her loyalty account when she bought it. The activation date was 4 days before the first fake message. Evan asked what I wanted him to do. "Correct the lie everywhere she spread it," I said. "Not privately, not quietly." He nodded. That afternoon, he sent the recording, the loan documents, and a written statement to both families. He also sent a separate letter to my employer confirming there had never been a romantic relationship between us. My company closed its review the same day. My family did not respond as quickly. My mother called the recording a terrible mistake made under wedding stress. My father said playing it for relatives had humiliated Marissa enough. I asked, "Was my humiliation enough when you opened the door and made me leave?" He had no answer. Marissa called from Evan's apartment while he was packing his things. "You destroyed my wedding," she said. "You created messages, pretending to be me." I panicked. "You used my name to hide a forged loan." "I was going to repay it." "Then why did you need a false affair?" She began crying, but this time I did not confuse tears with innocence. Evan ended the engagement. He disputed the loan and canceled the remaining wedding contracts. Some deposits were lost, and the lender required a formal fraud investigation. Marissa eventually signed a repayment agreement rather than force the case into a longer legal fight. There was no dramatic arrest. No one's life collapsed overnight. But the wedding disappeared, the loan became her responsibility, and the story she had told about me was corrected by the same people who had repeated it. I refused to attend family gatherings for 4 months. Before I returned, I required one thing from my parents. They had to acknowledge, in front of the relatives who were present that night, that they had punished me before asking for evidence. My mother disliked the condition. I told her, "You demanded public shame from me. You can offer public truth." They finally did it at my aunt's Sunday dinner. My father apologized without excuses. My mother returned grandmother's ring in its original velvet box. She said she had let fear for Marissa become cruelty toward me. I accepted the ring. I did not promise that everything was repaired. Marissa and I have spoken twice since then. She is in counseling and repaying the loan. I hope she changes, but hope is not the same thing as access. For most of my life, my family treated Marissa's panic like an emergency and my dignity like something that could wait. It cannot. My sister accused me of trying to steal her fiancé. The truth was that she had tried to steal his name and used mine as the alibi.